Hi guys and welcome back. I am sorry that I look absolutely horrendous and sound a bit groggy. It's because I feel absolutely horrendous. That was just very good lighting, wasn't it? Yeah, a bit riddled with a cold, which is not ideal. But anyway, we move. I basically thought I would bring to you today a bit of a winter routine / how I kind of look after a veteran horse. I get people sort of like saying, oh, don't they cost so much more? Aren't they so much more hard work? And, oh, my veteran doesn't look like this and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It goes without saying that every veteran horse is going to be different. Some of them age amazingly. Some of them don't age so well. Some of them are ridden until they are 30, like Hetty. And some of them retire when they are 15, 16. It's just what it is. It's just the way that it is. Anyway, I thought I would show you basically what I do with Dublin. Now, Jordan feeds her at like 7 in the morning. It's just gone 8 now and I've arrived. So I have given her a little bit of haylage because I tend to ride before work. That's because I start work a little bit later. I don't do like a 9 to 5. So it does mean I can ride before work. So that's basically what we're going to do. The first thing you would have spotted is that, yes, she goes to bed in her turnout rug. They got absolutely soaked last night. Well, yesterday even. It just rained non-stop all day. And she's got a liner on underneath that, and that's a medium weight with a detachable neck. It's from Derby House. It was very kindly gifted to us, but if you want to get Derby House, you can use the code. If I can do a straight line with my hand, I can't. Yeah, use that code and get 15% off. But she goes to bed in her turnout rug because she came in from the field. Although wet on the outside, she was really warm underneath, and I kind of don't like the idea of taking a warm rug off to put a cold rug on, if that makes sense. And it dries quicker. There is absolutely no way it would have dried like that anywhere else. So it dries quicker being on her. She's in the stable. She's nice and sheltered. She's fine. I leave it on. I do check underneath, but she's on her own in the field, so I've not really got to worry about kicks or anything like that. So I do tend to keep her turnout rug on. And of course, I take it off in the mornings to ride her. Well, that was the longest intro ever. Anyway, we're outside. And the second thing you will notice is she goes to bed with these boots on. So something I picked up over the years is that older horses, especially those that have got arthritis, Dublin has got arthritis in her hocks. Although they don't cover her hocks, they are simply the Premier Equine stable wrap boots, I guess they're called. I will look it up for you. But I got mine secondhand off Facebook Marketplace. I was bandaging because bandaging is a little bit cheaper, but it gets really boring and I hated doing it every single night. And we haven't got power on this yard, so it's becoming quite difficult. So I forked out and bought these secondhand off Facebook Marketplace. But I kind of want to get the magnetic inserts that Premier Equine do, the blue pad rather than the black pad. But basically, over the years, as I was saying, I've picked up all these sort of like tips and tricks as time's gone on. And one of them was that the older horses with arthritis just do better with their legs wrapped. I only do it when it goes below 10 degrees. And it just keeps her that little bit warmer. A couple of my friends' horses have had issues either with like, you know, colicking, getting cold, or with stiffness and arthritis flare-ups. And like wrapping legs has always been something that's been brought to their attention. So it's kind of like, well, I have the wraps. They're easy to do. They just go on her legs. And it's so simple. It stops them from swelling. And it means that because I am riding in the morning once she's been in overnight, I can put her brushing boots on and they don't slip down once the legs have like defilled. So yeah, basically it's just something I will now do every single time without fail when she goes to bed in any temperature below 10 degrees. But yes, our morning always starts with a hack. We're going to have to brush you because you're a bit mucky, but let's go. Boom. There we go. So I always ride her in the Equilibrium Tri-Zone boots because they are the only breathable ones I have found. I am a freak about legs heating up, so I never used to wear boots, but she is a little bit dramatic with those back legs hitting those front legs, hence the overreach boots, which is a new thing. I think now that she's a little bit fitter, she's just stretching forward more. Naughty me, I put my brakes in because Hannah came for a ride with us and I needed brakes, and I can't find where I put my snaffle, and I haven't got time to find it now, but you will survive one day. And then, yeah, I got an exercise sheet on because it is cold. This is all of that horrible, grimy stuff. I mean, look how fluffy she's gone again. She's going to need clipping before we go for our dressage. So I'm going to do it next week. So I kind of don't want to bath her yet. Just hoping she doesn't get itchy. But yeah, she's got super fluffy. Need to clip you again. That'd be the 5th or 6th time. That's crazy. But yeah, that is her ready. You do not look impressed. No, you'd rather go back to bed. Riding. Now, this is something that has changed over the past, I'm gonna even say 10 years. Previously, people would have been like, oh God, the horse is 20 years old and it should be retired, and oh, you shouldn't be riding it and all that. But actually, our knowledge of horse care, the items that you can get on the market are all improving, and our horses are just living for longer now. Dublin is 22 and she just feels incredible. She had a full-blown working hunter career, as some of you will know, but then when I retired her from the jumping, just because her arthritis was playing up in her hocks, she wasn't actually fully ready to retire. So we started the Concours d'Elegance, and I still do a bit with the VHS, which is the Veteran Horse Society, and we go to their championships. We just do fewer shows. We still go to some shows, we still do championships, but I don't do as much. And then we just spend most of our time out hacking around the woods, which she thoroughly enjoys because we are right on the doorstep of Cannock Chase. Now, it's massive. Next to us, we've got about like an hour's worth of wood riding, and then if we cross the road, we've got anywhere from another hour up to 7 hours. It's just insane. It goes on for ages. Fortunately, the tracks are mainly kind of stony and you can't really go fast anywhere. It's very difficult to find somewhere to canter, and you don't really often get anywhere to trot either, but it's beautiful and we can go for absolute miles, and she does really, really enjoy it actually. But yeah, I'm really glad we live here because she's not the kind of horse that would just like go out in a field and live most of her days turn out, because she just doesn't really enjoy it. She gets bored, even in the summer. She just gets bored. She needs to be doing something, and simply going out for even a 20-minute hack makes the world of difference. And some horses retire really well. I think Dublin would be the type of horse that if I was to retire her, she would just drop, you know, like she'd lose all her condition and she would just deteriorate almost. She's definitely not ready yet, but I think for like my 6-year plan, say, I would love to get another horse, and I would use them to probably get back into workers, and Dublin would hack, and we'd probably go to the VHS championships and do the odd bit of concours to keep her ticking over, because she does enjoy going out in the trailer, does enjoy your parties, don't you? But ultimately, eventually her workload will have to reduce, but at the minute we're okay. She might be docile at the start of our hacks, but once we've had a trot and we even manage to have a little canter, she turns into a total youngster. Power walking, tries to jog everywhere under the small trees. She just gets very excited. Just go steady. And that is what reminds me that she is just full of life and full of beans. But yeah, we did actually find somewhere for a little canter because it's been so rainy. There was quite a lot of mud down one of the tracks, and it just sort of meant that actually we can have a small little canter, which she was very pleased about. And she jumped a puddle. She'd like everyone to know that she jumped a puddle and she jumped it beautifully. I was not ready. So yeah, that just reiterates that we absolutely love going out for a hack. Now we're nearly home, which means we'd have been out for about 40 minutes, and we do that for anywhere from twice to 4 to 5 times a week actually. With work, I said before, I tried to ride before work, just because it's getting darker now. By the time I get back, I've not got a lot of time. Or sometimes I will squeeze in the odd lunge. I don't lunge loads, and again, if I do, it's not for long. It's literally like 15 minutes. Also, funny story. Do you find when you hack out and like you'll bump into some people? I just bumped into a really sweet old couple, and obviously like you're on a horse and they're like, oh, do you know my granddaughter? And you're like, no, because there's thousands of people that ride horses. There's thousands of people that ride horses. I do not know your grandchild, But yeah, it's so cute, isn't it, when they assume that because you've got a horse, you know every person that has a horse. Oh, so hang this up. Dublin always gets a treat after her bridle comes off. So it is a habit, but it does mean that she never walks off after I take her bridle off. You get a snack after a ride, don't you? Right. No more. Put your head collar on. Okay, so it is 9:45 now, and I haven't got to leave for work from the 45 minutes, which means I have time for Dublin to stand with her massage pad on. I'm going to get me stripped off, and then it means I can get mucked out. I love getting mucked out before work, especially because it's bail day today. If I can, I'll always get my chores done before I go to work, so that when I get back, I've only got to put her to bed. It just works better, so I better go move on.
You're gone now, will you call me back? Yeah, I know that, yeah, I know that. You're the traveling kind, it's a known fact. Yeah, I know that. Once you've seen all the things, all the places, I hope it means that you'll come home to me. Once you've traveled the world, all the spaces inside your heart, I hope I'll be your...
There we go. Beds never look as big on camera, but yeah, I didn't actually need to put a bail in. I had more than enough bedding, but I knew that the bank at the back was all clean, so I actually just brought that forward and mixed it all in. I did have banks on the sides, but she was just digging them out, so like she scuffed all the wall. So actually, I mean, she took a chunk out of that one. Like, yeah, she just sort of like stands here and digs it all out. So I've taken the side banks away, and she's got one at the back. So yeah, it'll do. But it's nice and fresh and nice and clean. So I'm guessing from that sleepy face that your massage pad has stopped. Is it finished? Is it finished? Yes, it has. Right then, let's rug you up and get you out in the field. There we are. Suited and booted, all ready to go. And we are just going to grab a handful of haylage, because our fields actually have quite a lot of grass still, but Madam thinks that if you don't turn her out of any food, she thinks you've forgotten her. So I do literally only take like this much. Come on then, you're cleaning my floor. Come on, get out the hay barn. Come on, that's it, go on. Yeah, that's all I take up to the field with me. So yeah, this is Dublin's winter paddock. That's all I'm putting out because there's actually quite a bit of grass. It's like quite green, and she's coming in like not hungry, and she is happily grazing. So that just kind of makes her feel like you love her. It's very strange, but it stops her from basically walking up and down the fence, following you, thinking that you've forgotten her. But basically, I do try to make sure she gets out every day, even if it's like a couple of hours. Sometimes if I've got work first thing, I will put her out and then bring her in like lunchtime-ish, or once actually I've put her out at 9 and I came back for her at 11 because the weather was just awful. And she won't stay out in her fields if she doesn't want to. I will show you what she does. That is what she does. That was connected to electric, and that's because the weather was really bad and it started to get dark. So she's got this temporary fence line, just keeping her in that area until Brad and I can basically re-fence this whole field before the summer. And talking of electric, I better actually connect to the battery. But yeah, I know not everyone has access to turnout in the winter. It's difficult. We're actually okay because our land's all on a hill, so the fields don't get completely trashed. Saying that, I do always only ever give her one of her paddocks in the winter so that she's not trashing both of hers. But I think with the older horses, it's good for them to be kept moving. The last thing that they really need is to be... Just check my water, that's fine. The last thing they really need is to be standing still, especially when it is colder. So yeah, she goes out for a few hours. But today, it's nice and sunny, so she can stay out all day, and I will get back here about 4 o'clock. So I'm going to make my hay nets now and go on home, and I will see you in a bit. Hello guys, I am back. It is actually only just coming past 3:30, but I was passing on my way back from work and I didn't actually have time to do my hay nets or anything before I shot off to work. So I needed to do that anyway, so I thought I'll come here and then she can come in and have a brush before she goes to bed. But I wanted to include the hay bit in the vlog because someone once said to me before, like, oh, I wouldn't want to buy a veteran because you have to like feed them so much more and like all this. But actually I find it's the same as like any horse. Some need loads of food, some don't need loads of food. Dublin, for example, is like, I'm so lucky she's such a good doer that I don't really need to give her a lot of haylage or feed. She just holds weight. And like I said before, we have still got grass in our field, but I've got friends that have got horses that are like on ad lib hay and they still don't put like loads of weight on. So I think, like everything with horses, it's personal preference whether they're a veteran or not. So Dublin's haylage is weighed and she's on 6 kilograms overnight, and then obviously whatever she gets out in the field. If I bring her in super early because the weather's really bad, then she'll have extra, but then that's obviously so that she doesn't run out and get like ulcers. So yeah, I'll make my hay nets now and then it's just feed and waters. I do totally get where people are coming from when they say that horses might cost more if they're older because, especially in the winter, is it way too dark in here? Obviously, they do drop off a little bit of weight as it gets colder because they're using more energy to stay warm. But that's kind of where I don't over-rug, and I don't want to confuse it with over-rugging. Two conversations at once. I'm just making her feed. She's still on a handful of chaff and half a scoop of Blue Chip Original, and she's only having it for breakfast. But yeah, I don't over-rug, but I do keep Dublin on the warm side, just so that she's not having to use her energy to keep warm, and it's sort of like just easier for her. But she's got a little bit fluffier now, so I'm going to start taking the liner off until I can get her clipped, because I think as well, if I was to like keep her in the rugs that she's wearing now, as she's getting fluffier, she is going to start getting too hot. And then when I do clip her, turn that off, when I do clip her, she's not then going to notice the difference. Now, like I said, I don't want to confuse this with over rugging. I'm not making her hot. I'm just being like extra nice, as it were. I know a lot of people will put like a rug on and just sort of say that's warm enough for them, whereas I'll sort of add the odd liner or a sheet or something like that, just if I need to, just so that she's not got to worry about trying to keep it a little bit warmer, if that makes sense. I'm probably just blabbing, but it makes sense in my head. So yeah, keeping them that little bit warmer does help with them not having to burn so much energy and therefore not losing weight. So that is her stable already. Her boots to go on, her hay net, she's got a lick, and a nice clean fresh bed. So we'll go get her. Hello, you ready to come in? You ready? Hello. Hello. Look at that for a transition. Head collar on. Oh, I just put my finger up your nose, I'm sorry. Right, go on then, golden girl. Beautiful thing. So it's a little bit earlier than normal, but I do want to just wash off her legs. They got quite grubby on our hack, but I didn't bother doing it when she was in the field because she was only going to get mucky in the field, and cold legs in the field in the wind, kind of didn't want to do it to her. So I'm going to come in now, I'm going to hose them off, and then they're going to dry off whilst I do some more little chores. Just got some stuff to do on the yard that I really need to get done, so I'm going to do that to kill time so I'm not feeding her too early, and then that's her pretty much done. Someone has had a nice time today, so we're going to brush this off. time to get the booties back on. This is why I don't bandage anymore, because that is way quicker. Bedtime. You ready for bed? Ready for bed? If I can undo your knot. Right, so it is quite light still. It is actually only 4:15, but I have actually just put a little bit of extra haylage in to make up for the sort of 40 minutes or so that she's going to bed earlier tonight. Luckily, I have a horse that does not trash her stable and that does not mind going to bed early. So that is her all done, and her breakfast is there. And I leave that there, and then when Jordan gets here at 7 o'clock, she feeds her, and then I'm usually here between 8 and half 8. So, yeah, I shall see you tomorrow. It's bedtime. Happy girly. All the flashes come on, it's getting late. Fresh water, nice big cozy bed. Cozy. I always check this part for warmth, but she is super cozy under there. Got her leg wraps on, got food. I'll get this bright torch out your face. So yeah, that is that all done. That's pretty much kind of a bit like a routine with added in information. If you have got any questions, please do put them in the comments below. Good night, Dubs, and I will answer them for you, but I'm pretty sure I have covered most stuff. Hopefully soon there will be a show vlog. I'm just washing off my boots because I hate going home with muck on them, because my boots have to live in my house and it smells. Oh, right, job's all done. Yeah, drop me a comment below if you have any questions. It won't be long until we're back out with a competition vlog. We're gonna go off and do some Christmas team dressage. Fingers crossed. No, I said that. Ow. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.